Welcome to Cinematalkraphy. We watch movies with you so you don't have to.
Welcome to Cinematalkraphy. I'm your host, Roberto Villegas, joined by my co-host,
Brian Hughes. My name is Brian Hughes.
Your name is Brant
Thanks
Hughes.
for the toss-off.
That's what I do as a hopefully one day be paid professional podcaster, but not getting paid anything right now for doing multiple shows.
It's good to have dreams.
It's great to have dreams. It is great to have dreams, especially when you're doing now. I'm now doing another show. Now, for those who have no idea about what the show is, essentially, it's an idea that Brant and I both kind of had. I don't know who approached who or how we got into talking about this, but as it turns out, Brant's a huge film guy.
Yeah.
A very big film guy, to the point that whenever him and I go to a film, we're at least like 30, 45 minutes talking about the movie. Like, I remember the first one that we ended up seeing together, I think it was Upstream. Was Upstream Scholar? No, it was
Life of Pi.
Life of Pi.
Yeah.
And we both had the same kind of thoughts. And we're literally like driving around talking in the car. I was taking you back to Brian's place, just chit-chatting about the film. And then when we saw Upstream Color, we did the same kind of thing. And so ultimately, I started learning that Brant is a big, big film guy. Like, sometimes a little bit bigger than me.
I really like movies.
Which is good. No.
Yeah.
And everyone always talks about you're so quiet and then you never talk. I'm like, no, you just have to get in talking about the right thing. And so essentially what the show is going to be is us sort of recording a commentary track for movies that both of us love and have enjoyed and watched. And today we figured, you know what? Let's start off weird. Let's start off with the introduction movie to weird.
Sure.
And that being Richard Kelly's Donnie Darko.
Donald Darko.
So we're watching the director's cut. It's about 134 minutes.
Or
put out by
2 hours, 13 minutes, and 51 seconds, if you
until the end of the world.
Yeah.
We are actually going to watch it on here. So the way we're going to kind of count off this sort of stuff is we start at the 0 mark of the movie itself. So if you happen to be watching this on Netflix, the director's cut, or have a digital copy, or have the Blu-ray copy like we do, you can sync it up at that point. We will count off either 3, 2, 1, and then we will hit play and watch at the 0 mark.
Yeah, we'll have 3 beeps, and on the 3rd beep, you press play, we press play.
Play, yes.
Yeah, and then everything's all synced up. And
now,
it's real
before
nice.
we do kick in, when's the last time you saw Donnie Darko?
Last night.
I have not watched this, I think, since maybe 3 months ago. I'm actually kind of excited for this because there's so much I want to talk about. Okay. You know what, Brant? Why don't you kick off the beeps?
All right.
All right, here we go. Yeah. Oh, man. This is exciting for me because I freaking adore this film.
Me too.
It is, well, because, have you seen any other Richard Kelly movies?
I haven't.
So, Richard Kelly...
I'm really weary of...
Don't. Just ignore Southland Tales. Because, this is what Richard Kelly has done beyond Darko. He wrote the script to Domino. Do you remember that movie?
Vaguely.
He then directed Southland Tales with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
From what I heard, there was kind of an interesting concept behind Southland Tales.
It's a damn good concept.
Yeah.
It's just the execution is shit.
Okay.
No offense to Richard Kelly. It's just a terrible, terrible film. Because it's so... Because you watch Darko, I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this shot.
So pretty.
It's such a gorgeous shot. You open up, it's dawn, and all you see, let's see, when is it coming? There it is. You just see, Donnie Darko on the ground, on the road. And, what the hell is he doing? Because you're like, this is how the movie opens up. Mm-hmm. And... when I was watching the first time, I think I ended up watching the theatrical cut first and then watched the director's cut, I think. I had to remember which one I watched first in my history of watching Darko.
I've only seen the theatrical cut once.
I may have seen it once or twice. I have to really think about it. It's been such a long time since I've figured out which one I saw. I always, when it comes to movies, when I see them after the fact, I always forget which version I saw. But when I first saw the film... it opens up in this sort of scene of, you see this, literally scene now, you see Donnie just, clearly he was in his PJs, he's looking around what the hell happened last night? And I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know this was set in the 80s. I had no idea at that point of the movie. I kind of watched it very, very cold. And damn, it was good. And very much an interesting film.
So after Southland Tales, Richard Kelly did The Box.
Oh, that's right. He did do The Box.
Did you ever see that?
No, did you?
No.
I like I said, it's sometimes the director, gets their kind of, perfect film.
What do you think about the soundtrack?
Oh,
in
God,
this
I
movie?
adore the soundtrack.
Every single song in the movie I immediately associate with Donnie Darko.
Well, that's why so there are certain musical cues that I dig. One of my favorite for sure is at the party with Echo and the Bunnymen, "Killing Moon." I love that song in general. When we get to those, when we get to the appropriate musical cues, we will talk about them more.
Sure,
for sure. But I thought the soundtrack was perfect. I thought the soundtrack is what gets you into the film pretty effectively. It sets the mood.
Yeah.
I think in the commentary track proper, I think Richard Kelly had sort of had two different versions of the soundtrack, and one was
the theatrical version and the director's cut are pretty different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shuffling of songs, and there's a few different.
Yeah, because I think this song
songs.
plays at the party in the theatrical version, and the Echo and the Bunnymen play at this part in the song in there.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah, the soundtrack is great. I think it's phenomenal. Very, very 80s. I mean, in a good way, in the way that it's hard to do.
Right.
Oh God, the one thing that bugs me about this film is Darko's parents.
What about him?
Okay, here's the question. Let's say your kid came back the next morning in his PJs. What would you do? Look, his mother just kind of goes, whatever, it's our kid. Don't keep bringing you the it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we get the distinct impression that he walks in his sleep a lot. So this is a regular thing.
Yeah,
for them.
but that is such a
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Here it is.
Such a great scene.
For those who don't know about the famous political race of Dukakis Bush or Dukakis and Bush. God, that is the one greatest thing about the political thing, because this is such a that was, this is post-Reagan, this is we're deep in the 80s at this point. We're post-Reagan and all that stuff, and it's so great because it's so weirdly political.
Yeah. This is all set before I was born.
Oh, this was
So I don't have context
I was
for this.
a lot for sure. I definitely wasn't Darko's age. Let's see. I was. What year is this? 80.
88.
80. Let's say 88.
Maybe
we'll say 88 for now. I would be about 6. 6, 7, or 8. I will 6, 7. In other words, I'm definitely under 10 by this point in time.
Right.
I'm definitely under 10 o'clock. 10 years old. So I do know historically, looking back, but I definitely wasn't a fuck ass. Please tell me, Elizabeth, how does one suck a fuck?
It's great. This invented a lot of vocabulary for me in early high school. I really enjoyed that.
I love this part here. I love this what the kid says. If I'm mistaken, I think doesn't the kid say something?
Yeah.
I love that scene. What's a fuck ass?
Dude, Donnie's dad is so cool.
Donnie's dad is cool.
He's super chill, and
I think that's what bugs me so much, is because the 80s were supposed to be. Oh God, never mind. We will get to what the 80s truly were. Let's see. What is your favorite moment from the 80s? Looking back on.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there supposed to be an answer for that?
I don't know. Maybe. I think my favorite moment of the 80s is this movie. It's not in the 80s.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm trying to see, because I remember, didn't Drew Barrymore produce this film?
Yeah, her production company is the reason that Donnie Darko got released in theaters.
That's what I thought. I know something he had to do something in terms of production.
Yeah, because originally it wasn't going to get picked up because it came out right after September 11th.
Oh yeah, like that was like this movie has a lot of interesting baggage to it.
Yeah,
like it came after September 11th, did very poorly theatrically here in the States, but like got a crazy following in the UK, and then kind of became a cult here in the States after the fact.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why it got such a huge following in the UK is because the Gary Jules cover of Mad World got like super popular over there,
which is a gorgeous cover.
Oh, it's amazing!
Probably my favorite cover of that song in a while. I love Mad World by Tears for Fears, but I adore that cover. All right, here's where things start to get. There it is.
Mad World.
There it's 88.
Yeah. The cover of Mad World is still in Brian Brushwood's magic routine, and it makes me really happy every single time I hear it.
Well, because it's a great cover.
Yeah,
it's a great song, and things like that.
Man, he looks so young here. Jake Gyllenhaal.
What is? Yeah, I always forget it's Jake Gyllenhaal that did this film.
Yeah,
because oh god, this is
and Maggie Gyllenhaal, his sister.
Yeah,
what is his sister?
Oh, this is Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
There it is. Here's the TV. Oh god, this is. I love this scene.
So at some point we're gonna have to talk about time travel theory.
We are gonna have to talk about it. Son of a bitch. Because like this is, I'm just waiting till we get to the books. There it is. Tell him, George. I love it because it's so fucking. It's so 80s in terms of that execution. like it's because ultimately you didn't have to put those because okay, most movies when it comes to doing things and positioning in the 80s, they will always do the same kind of crap, you know, and such.
Okay.
They'll always do some type of musical cue or put like Alf on the screen or some shit. They won't necessarily they won't like put a line in the sand which 80 they're in. They'll just say we're in the 80s at some point. This puts a line in the sand like we are in 88. Oh, here it is.
It's such a gorgeous shot.
Oh god.
It's so pretty.
Oh yeah, no, this is the iris expanding.
Let's just watch that take for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, pretty
just
much.
2 hours of looking at that eye, and I'll be happy.
I'll be honest. If we were to pause at any point in this movie, we won't pause for the sake of our listeners. If we were to pause at any point, it'd be in all the book entries.
Yeah,
because those are critical, I think.
Sure.
But here is, I think this is where we get introduced to Frank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank.
Yeah, he's kind of. I don't know.
I forgot who played Frank. I know I've seen him in other things before.
But
I can't remember what.
I don't know.
The 80s and their faux wood paneling. That is how you can tell something from the 80s is if it had faux wood.
Is that how archaeologists are going to figure that out in the future?
Yeah. If
you're going to dig something up and like fake wood paneling.
This must have been from
the 1980s.
That's the only because everything in the 80s had fake wood paneling. The Atari 2600, everything, every freaking thing. If you think about it and you look back in time, there's so much fake wood. It's not even funny. Oh God, this is. Now here's the next question for you.
Sure.
Knowing what happens soon, and spoiler alert, a plane falls into the house. Would you be more freaked out than the parents when they come to that scene? I kind of want to. We're going to get there and we're going to see it, but I figured I'd be way more freaked out.
Yeah, I think for the sake of the viewer, they didn't want to have like, here's 5 hours of the parents just screaming and losing their minds.
That's what I would do. Here's Frank. All right, he's counting it off. 12 seconds.
Dude, Frank is such great, like, iconic imagery.
Oh yeah. That is. It is such a. like that bunny shot, I think I've seen that bunny more than I've actually seen this movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I've seen that bunny referenced or like put somewhere as a figure. I mean, it's really cool about this film when it comes to it is how the characters push the weird, because it's a very weird movie. You know, it's a very dense kind of film that really requires a couple of viewings to kind of get the whole idea behind it.
Yeah.
And so doing it like this, oh, here it is. What the hell was that?
I don't know. This is set in California, right?
I think so. No. The movie. This may be set in California. The movie's in Middlesex, so I think it's in somewhere in the northwest, northeast.
No, I was just thinking if they have like if earthquakes are a common frequency.
Yeah.
In the area.
No. This is set in like New England or something like that. And the only way you know that was when you saw Jake Gyllenhaal's character Donnie biking at the beginning. Oh, look who it is!
Yeah,
he is not a rapist. He's not a child rapist. He does not like kiddie porn.
That was such a weird revelation to me when I first watched this. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, this movie's weird, but that's weird.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dr. Fisher. I hate kids. Let's golf. But yeah, coming back to this, I'd figured I'd be way more panicked than my parents. I mean, look at this. This is like the family. The kids are like, look what's there. Who's that? Kid, what are you doing? The cops are like, we don't care enough. There's the news. Like, I think I'd be panicking more on the fact that, hey, wait, where was that? There wasn't a plane overhead, you know?
Yeah, I think as far as Donnie is concerned, he just has this weird aura of indifference over him, and he's just kind of, he's not completely present throughout a lot of the movie.
Well, and some could argue, that it is. I mean, Donnie as a character, if we were, let's as we introduced to him. Like, he's on a lot of medication. Like, he's on medication. He sleepwalks. He's definitely a quiet character. And things get very, confusing with him in terms of that. So, him being indifferent, I think that amplifies the weirdness of it,
Sure, yeah.
Because that just doesn't... It's just such a strange thing. Who's the sister, Jake Gyllenhaal? Is that the smaller girl or is that the older girl?
The older one.
Oh, okay. Okay. I wasn't sure. I actually did not know that until like right now. But by having him be this sort of character that's indifferent, it definitely adds to it. Because like I said, this is where the movie gets strange. Like, it was already kind of getting strange, but with the introduction of Frank and the idea that in 28 days the world's going to end, this is where things get weird, Yeah.
Where you first kind of realize that, like, something else is going on.
Yeah,
here.
something's off. Something's really off.
And then they stay at a Holiday Inn, and it's like, come on, guys. Come on.
Holiday Inn, please.
Shit just got, like, so weird. You don't need to take it up to the next level.
What's the nicest hotel you've ever stayed at, Brant?
The nicest hotel, Sheridan Inn, I think, in Atlanta when we were there for
Dragon Con?
Maybe. No, when we were in Nashville. When we were in Nashville, we stayed at the presidential suite or whatever.
Right.
Oh, it was so nice.
I'm telling you.
I don't remember if it was Sheridan Inn or not, but it was so good.
They're just trying to comprehend what happened.
Yeah, I would imagine they're all kind of in shock.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be.
I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where an airplane engine fell through my house and I wasn't in shock.
I could. I don't know. I'm kidding. But yeah, that's what's. I mean, it's such a, again, strange way to open the movie, but him, the idea of Darko kind of, being alive and everything else being fine. Because like I said, this is where everything ramps up and such. This is where we start to get to I think the most bizarre parts of this film.
Sure.
I just want to see how this thing's going to go.
I don't think I've ever personally known a Donnie.
I don't think I have either. Well, maybe I have. I've known Donalds, so I guess I would, in theory, know a Donnie.
Yeah, you know potential Donnies.
I know potential Donnies. I've never called anyone Donnie, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because Donnie, because it's... Well, because you can shorten Donovan and Donald to Donnie, I think, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know that many Donovans, and I know very few Donalds. I think I know a Donald. We're almost coming up to my favorite shot in the film, and I will talk about that extensively in a second. We're right now going to be introduced to, of course, some other key characters. Donnie's two only friends, who I don't even remember the characters' names. Charita, of course. Who
Shut up.
Because, that's how it rolls.
Yeah.
And then this sequence with Donnie smoking coming up soon. What I love about this scene is that this is before I don't know if it's actually I think they're smoking cigarettes proper.
Mm-hmm.
But they're talking about it like they're smoking marijuana.
Yeah, it's great.
It's good shit, isn't it?
Donnie's like, bro, it's just a cigarette. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Like, check this out. Like, this is great. Like, Donnie's like lighting up, doing right. He's like, leave her alone. Some good shit, huh? It's like, it's a fucking cigarette. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Here it is.
Yeah.
Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears. Probably my second favorite Tears for Fears song. My first one is still, I think, Shout. But I love this sequence for many reasons.
It's so cool.
It positions you right in the 80s. And let me tell you why. So anyways, we watch this kid here, sort of one of the bullies, who teams up with a younger version of... oh God, what's the actor's name?
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, thank you.
Yeah. Man, does that woman ever play a character that's not like completely despisable?
No, not at all. Not at all. I forgot. I don't even know that actress's name.
I don't know either.
Dear Lord, no. We'll have to go over that for sure. The principal teacher.
Yeah.
But here it is. The bump of coke right off of the thing.
Is that?
That's coke.
That's 80s?
That's so... cocaine was big in the 80s. I don't know if you know this, Brant, but cocaine was big in the 80s.
That's what I hear.
Very big in the 80s. That's all they did. They did fucking coke, listened to Tears for Fears, and talked about Reaganomics. That's all yuppies did. That's all yuppies did. Was listen to David Bowie, do a bunch of blow, talk about the stock market, and of course the oncoming post-apocalyptic war from Russia or something.
Man, sounds like I really missed out on that one.
You did not miss out on the 80s. This is the thing. The 80s were okay, but there's some good things out of the 80s, much like the good things out of all decades. But there are some people that just obsess over the 80s, that are like, the 80s were the perfect era. Not thinking like this is not even this movie, but we hopefully we'll get to do a commentary on Hot Tub Time Machine. But there's a scene in that film where you have the two characters. I think what is it? Roy Cobroy? I can't remember the bald guy's name. I can't remember his name. He's on.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He's talking about, man, the 80s were so good. It's filled with this. Then you have what's his face? I forgot the 80s actor. Fuck, what's his name? It doesn't matter. Where he's like, no, there's Reaganomics and AIDS. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Anyways, here we got Drew Barrymore, who's pretty much pissed off at the set of her life, and rightfully so, which we'll find out later on. But yeah, I love that scene.
That's a really cool shot too.
Oh yeah, like it's such a great way of doing that. Time flies, and it syncs up perfectly with the song. It's a very good way of introducing the school without having to go through all the rigmarole of introducing the school. Like you get, okay, there's the principal, there's the asshole teacher.
You get a really good understanding for the atmosphere of the school.
Exactly.
Like
you fully understand where you're coming into and things like that. You don't have to go through all the rigmarole of introducing these characters. It just it comes off very effectively.
I don't think I've ever been in a classroom with chalkboards.
I have. I've been in a couple classroom chalkboards. You suck. God, this is... Like, I know we're silent, and I realize we weren't talking at that point, but... Like, I get lost in the dialogue all the time in this film.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
It's okay to appreciate the film, Roberto.
It is. It is totally fine. Do you remember this actress's name?
Nope.
Let me see if I can figure it out. Because I always thought she was kind of cute. In a totally filmatic way. But I do adore the character of... I forgot her name. I guess we'll figure out. We'll learn it in the movie. I always enjoyed her role in this film.
Man, that seems like a really risky move for that teacher to make.
Oh, to say pick your
yeah, just like go for it.
Well, because he's like, she knows.
That's the kind of thing a lot of teachers would be like, man, that's risque. Yeah. I could lose my job for that.
Well, she doesn't care. She's...
Yeah, I mean, she's going to lose it anyway.
Yeah. Joni, get up.
Joni's the worst.
Joni is the worst.
Joni's adopted.
Gretchen is the character's name. It's
yeah.
She is played by Gina Maloney. And Gina Maloney has been in such films as Contact, Pride and Prejudice, and recently Sucker Punch.
Interesting.
So there we go. Oh my God, this is... I love that they reference Dukakis and Bush just because it's so fucking apolitical. Like it's only because it's such a funny thing to use as you're like continually... Because ultimately, this movie involves a lot of some concept of time travel, which we will have to talk about very, very soon once we start getting introduced to that stuff.
Right.
And, this film was released. It was recorded, released, like we said, on September 11th, so it's like 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's already 20 years in the past. And so having that constant thread of a very, very pivotal moment in American, political history, the election of that year, because that was, a big election for the 80s and a big election for that, because that would then, it was sort of the last sort of part of Reagan, the Reagan administration in that way. But having that as a constant thread to keep track of where we are spatially in time, I think was very, very important.
Yeah.
R. Sparrow. What do you think she tells him?
Donnie reveals that later.
Oh, that's right, she does.
Yeah, everyone dies alone.
That's what it was. Everyone dies alone. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's so... Well, that's right. What does she say?
Yeah, and it's great that, like, from here on out, Richard Kelly starts layering in clues to push Donnie towards his inevitable fate at the end.
Yeah, they have,
starting from there.
From there, yeah. Well, because this movie. Here we go, Frank. We're into the future. This movie, you have very much from the get-go a clue to who is what's what and everything else. Now here's a question. Let's say that the timeline that we're experiencing now wasn't. Oh, never mind. Forget that. We're gonna talk.
Let's not talk about that. What I want to see more than anything is a behind-the-scenes video of them making this movie. Like, this is one of the best, like, little artifacts in the movie.
Oh God, yes!
This is so pitch perfect and amazing.
Oh, it is. It is. That's why we're stopping. Oh my God, it is. It is. Oh fuck! This is such a. This is so 80. Like this is. There is nothing I can say about this. I have to let it speak for itself. The self-help video, first and foremost, and the fact of the matter. Okay, fear survivors. I tried everything. They're just like, what the fuck are we watching? And Donnie's like, was there all the Oh my God. I love it because of the fact that the teacher believes it.
Oh, wholeheartedly
believes it.
Yeah.
And like this is her like, and there were a lot of these sort of things in the 80s. Like, I think around this time is when things like Dianetics, I think, got big, which would later lead into Scientology. I think so. I'm not sure if that's the case, but there's a lot of things going around that point. These sort of self-help kind of things. I'm just hoping we get. Oh, there's the eye again.
Yeah,
with Frank.
And now you have the water.
Yep.
Which is important imagery.
Yep. Because it spatially puts some stuff in time. And then it shows. God, that's such a creepy bunny mask.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of really cool sound design in this movie as well.
Yes, especially when we start getting into one of my favorite sounds in the film, if we want to talk about that kind of thing.
Real quick, it took me like 5 watch-throughs to see Frank in this shot.
Really? Where is he?
Oh, you just missed him. He was off to the right. And
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's just standing there.
Oh my God!
And it's great.
I may have to go back and rewind it on my own.
Yeah, when you're listening to this commentary later, synced up with the movie.
Yeah, you'll catch it exactly.
Yeah.
But I was going to talk about. By the way, you know about the sequel to this film, right?
I've heard about it. I will never watch it.
Neither will I. I will. Like I said, it's called As Darko. Just skip it.
Yeah.
It apparently follows Samantha, because she was a pivotal character too.
Sure. I mean, she's in the movie.
Yeah. She does things.
Poor Choretta.
God, that is the worst thing, the most horrible thing to say.
I know, they're terrible.
But what I love about what was it we're talking about? The whole
sound design.
Sound design is one of my favorite sounds in the film. There's a point, and I'll point it out when we get there officially, where Donnie is trying to almost break the barrier of something he's being held kind of captive in an area, and he's touching kind of the portal sort of thing.
Right.
And it has that kind of warbly sound.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite sounds in the entire film. Is that?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, pretty much anytime Frank has any involvement in the movie, there's a really cool sound design.
Exactly. And God, this is great. They made me do it. The boys' locker room. So they found feces. What are feces? Baby mice.
That is such like a 13-year-old kind of thing that like everyone experiences.
Yeah.
That's great.
Here it is. The circling vultures.
Man, Seth Rogen is super creepy in this movie.
Yeah. I like your boobs.
Smooth Tucker.
Well, that's what you got to do in the 80s, dude. You had like 5 different things you could say.
Hey, at least you could say he's direct.
Yeah, that's true.
You know perfectly well his intentions. And you can't ask for much more than that.
What is with that guy?
I don't know.
He does that like kind of thing.
Yeah. Fake you out.
Those guys like to steal shit. Fuck 'em.
And I love this moment with Donnie where he's so detached from everyone, but as soon as he hears that her dad has emotional problems, like that's the only way he's relating with anyone. And so he immediately jumps to it and he's like, well, yeah, I know what that is. That's great.
have that too. No, but I mean, because again, Donnie is the ultimate goth character. Like, he is pretty much like what goth people... I'm kidding, but the joking thing, because he's very, very, pulled out, very detached from the world, very much, I don't care, I could care less. Not because he doesn't really care, because obviously when he starts talking with Gretchen here, you can see he kind of does care, and he has, ideas around what the world is, and when you start letting Donnie talk, his ideas are pretty on par with a lot of what the audience thinks on some of these things.
Mm-hmm. I think Donnie, he kind of is a great representation of adolescence.
Yes, that's basically what I'm trying to say. I think that's that's more appropriate. Scratch my goth comment off the thing. Yeah. He's definitely more the thing of it, because like it's almost Salinger in the way he is, like in terms of like Holden Caulfield and Catcher in the Rye. He's very much that kind of figure, and it's very clear that Richard Kelly is playing back on his own sort of past and stuff, because like we all like if you're a pretty sane person now, and especially if you're a geek or kind of that off person, chances are you had an off kind of high school experience where not that you were not talkative, but that definitely you were not part of the in crowd. Like I definitely wasn't part of the in crowd. Were you back in high school part of the?
Not really. I mean, I had friends, and I was friendly with most people, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, because I definitely was not part of the whole thing of that. Going together.
Yeah. So that's how it's done.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
I wasn't talking because I was taking notes.
Yeah, I know. You gotta learn the Darko way. Where are you going?
Yeah. Going
like going together? No, like asshole.
I don't think that's what he meant at all, Roberto.
No, I don't think so either. I think I can't. Have you ever been hypnotized? Hypnotherapy. That's where you learn the true Darko ways. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for something. I'm waiting for a scene, because it was already prepped with the artifact of time, if you will, that we mentioned. I'm waiting for the line scene. When we get to it, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Because I'm racking my brain. I know when you're talking about, but I don't remember specifically. We'll find it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I always thought this was a good touch. Having the psychiatrist sort of be a good figure. I mean, obviously, Donnie going to Sidetrack helps obvious, but having
yeah, it's good to. There's so many weird things, and it's obvious that Donnie is like the protagonist. So it's good to have another character that kind of analyzes Donnie, so that way we have a reliable source to know whether this is all in his head or not.
Christina Applegate. I love this.
I mean, at least he's not that messed up.
No. I love that it gets this deep. It's like, I touch myself.
I just want to know what Donnie's thinking when he comes to. He's like, what the hell were you making me do?
Look, I'm not going to lie. I would have fucked Christina Applegate back in the Married to Children days, too. But it's neither here nor there. For those who've never seen Married to Children, Christina Applegate plays the older sister in that film. Or film, the movie, the TV show. Married with Children.
You know, I would assume that this test would be pretty easy to get around. The handwriting test.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know why Donnie doesn't just, like, kind of take his time.
Oh, it doesn't matter. None of them, they never pin him.
No, but, I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Well, the thing is that it's not his, like, I don't even think it's his handwriting.
It's pretty close.
You see, I always thought it was Frank that did it.
No.
Like this way, I always question mark maybe because he's the weird kid. It's not because of anything like his. He looked at that. It's just like his reaction behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Frank definitely guides him to do it, for sure. But I think it's all by his hand.
This was the scariest part, I think, in the entire film.
Did a lot of kids have knives in the 80s?
A lot of kids had switchblades in the 80s.
Really?
A lot of kids had like an obsession with switchblades. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I had a couple friends. I had friends in the 80s, you know, back when I was a kid in the 80s, like I am now, that had like a shit ton of like butterfly knives and things like that.
I don't blame them. I mean, it's kind of cool, but like,
well, switchblades were the classic 80s, is one of the classic 80s film weapons.
Yeah.
You know, it's very much a reminiscent there. Not anyone really carries switchblades. It was always,
I mean, nowadays kids just have guns.
oh, here we go.
I mean, never bring a knife to a gunfight.
No, of course not.
Did you ever watch The Smurfs?
Yeah.
I didn't.
So here's a question: do you know the true story of? I know they talk about it here, but did you know that how Smurfette, that was a true story of Smurfette?
I mean, I probably kind of knew on some level before the movie.
Yeah, basically
But-
Smurfette, and Darko talks about it here.
Yeah.
Smurfette was created by Gargamel to infiltrate the Smurfs. There it is.
Mhm.
Smurf didn't create Smurfette. Gargamel did. She was, yep, exactly. Now here's where it gets even weirder about Smurfette. Originally, she had black hair before she was turned pure, where she became, blonde haired.
Right.
Some have said that is a commentary on like the Aryan race or some shit like that.
What?
Like, I mean, look up online, people. Look up Smurfette and shit, and you'll see that this is weird. Like article on that. I only have like brief memories on this. It's such a fucking hardcore thing.
That sounds like some of the stuff like Room 237 or whatever, the documentary on people interpreting The Shining.
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
Like it sounds like a conspiracy theory that could
It
be out
is
there.
like there, because the thing is that now we're getting to Smurfs. Smurfs is both. Oh God, yes. How old is Grandma Death? 101.
I love that Grandma Death is kind of like
Also a central figure too.
she's kind of like a glitch in the system.
Yeah,
After the tangent universe breaks off.
which makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Richard Kelly has talked a lot about how he perceives technology playing a role in the universe breaking off and stuff like that. So I think it kind of plays into that.
oh yeah,
theme.
you definitely have to. Don't die as Grandma. Sorry.
And then that's another clue,
Yeah.
which Donnie does later write her.
Exactly. See, I already said Middlesex again.
Yeah.
So you know where we are. We know where we are spatially again. Oh, here it is.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm excited. We're not here. We're not at the line yet, but we're. This is where things get so much fun.
I love her reaction here where She's so confused that anyone would possibly say something contrary to her in that way.
Oh, exactly. That's why I love Drew Barrymore's character in this film, and I love. Is that no? Who is it that plays the teacher? I'd like to say it's Noah something or another.
I'm not sure. But yeah, Drew Barrymore's character is pretty cool because she also kind of has some of that.
Oh, here we go.
That adolescent mindset, but she approaches it with an authority figure role.
Here is the sound.
Yeah.
Pay attention, folks, to this part when it cuts to Darko. I'm just waiting for this scene to come up because it's such a. Let's see, where is. I'm trying to find out.
I love Donnie's stare.
Oh yeah,
His kind of weird vacant stare. Like sometimes it feels a little overdone to me, but then when his little sister comes in and he totally snaps out of it, like it totally pays off and makes it worth it.
There it is, right here. That sound. And by the way, it is Noah Weil that plays the other teacher. I was thinking.
Gotcha.
He, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for me, is famous for another movie. He was in ER. He was in one of my other favorite movies, a television movie called Pirates of Silicon Valley. He played Steve Jobs. Do you even know who Graham Greene is? It's so great because I love that the parents are. There it is, time travel time.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite form of time travel? Go, Brant.
Form? Like, in what do you mean?
Like, okay. In movie history, we've had many forms of time travel.
Sure.
We've had the DeLorean.
Okay.
We've had the H.G. Wells sort of classic time travel machine.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had, of course, a phone booth. There are many others, but what's your favorite?
I'm far more interested in the theories behind how time travel would work than
The actual time
method,
travel.
Yeah, than the method to
So
get
you're
there.
okay. Okay, that's fair.
I mean, they're all kind of cool.
I'm definitely more of a fan of the method than I am necessarily. I mean, theories are we start getting into science sort of thing. What was the movie that covered that a lot? It was an indie film that I've yet to see it, where it does a really good job of trying. Primer, that's one I was thinking.
By Shane Carruth.
Shane Carruth. We'll probably talk about that. Anyways, here we go. Back to Donnie Darko because we're about to. I think we're coming to the line very soon. I keep saying that because I can't wait. There it is. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of really good moments in this.
Oh, there's every good moment in this. This is all good. There is nothing wrong with this. This is so like the four shot version.
I want a director's cut of this video. My god, that pat.
Yes.
That pat kills me. And then there's also a moment coming up where you see the mic goes down. That's amazing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Please press stop now.
And of course.
Please stop tape.
Yeah.
Just turns it off. So here it is. As you can see. Yes. This is how the world works, people. It is.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. We cracked the code.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It is fear and love. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
There's no other emotions in the world.
Well, I mean, there are, but they all fall in between fear and love.
That's right. Oh God, this is so great. They're so great because they're just like. I can't wait to read one of them. Take it. It's like
And he just throws it down.
like I don't want to fucking do this. Place an X on the lifeline in the appropriate place. I forget what Sharita's is.
About someone getting their wallet stolen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, he had to read it out loud. That's right. Juanita has an important has not studied in order to keep from failing her class.
Is Juanita a common name?
Juanita is is up there in terms of Spanish common names.
Mm-hmm.
Not that popular in Middlesex culture, I'd imagine.
Sure.
Probably had to be there for PC reasons.
Maybe.
Oh, here it is. Ling Ling. Because the thing is, during the 80s was like what was the birth of fucking political correctness. So they had to do this shit like that. Sorry, Mrs. Farmer, I don't get this. Just place it. Can't learn things to do things that simply. Exactly. Well, who cares if lately?
Have you ever had like big public outbursts against like teachers and professors and stuff before?
I have never, but the funniest one we ever had, and it wasn't an outburst, it was actually a joke, and the professor adored it, and this is what happened. So we were doing the Scarlet Letter, and my professor in college was a Hawthorne. He did his dissertation in. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna pause really quick. Intimidating.
The blocking is really nice in this shot.
Oh yeah, everything.
It's like a little mini version of that one shot in Glorious Bastards where like they do the whole scene and then you realize that this guy's been here the whole time.
Yeah,
it's great.
I love that. The dad's like,
yeah,
it's fucking pimp dad. and the mom couldn't give a shit either. Like nobody could care. like she doesn't care. This is because of we're also gonna get introduced to my next favorite thing in the world, and that is, of course, Sparkle Motion.
Sparkle Motion's pretty great.
Oh God, yeah.
I like to imagine this is the prequel to Little Miss Sunshine, and
okay,
Sparkle Motion goes on to become that
big thing.
The little girl, and she goes to do the thing.
That makes sense. I could find that. But so back to my story. So
yeah.
He essentially was a Hawthorne scholar, and he said that the plot line of the Scarlet Letter forms an A and like connects at a certain point. Mm-hmm. And we all kind of like, that is complete and utter horseshit, but we can't really say anything. This is the most ridiculous idea ever. I can't believe you've said this, but we got to go with it because we didn't believe it. So we had come to the point of the final, and we just got done with Moby Dick. And we start jokingly going through the plot threads of Moby Dick, and one of my friends started drawing on the dry eraser board the points of where the plot was, mm-hmm. and started forming a whale. And when he saw what we did and how we did it, he got exactly what it was, and he had such a good attitude of it. He just started laughing so hard.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty funny. That was as close as we get. And here we go about time travel. Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, it's kind of disconcerting once you once you approach the movie from the perspective of all of the characters are just these pieces that are moving to help Donnie get to the end, and that all of them are kind of subconsciously aware of what's going on and what needs to happen.
I think a lot of, yeah. I mean, it's obvious that the teachers are very much. Listen, don't tell anybody I gave this to you.
I'm wondering why he always carries that around with him. Does he consider like a good luck charm?
Maybe. I mean, it's obvious that Noah Wild's character. I mean, it's very apparent when it comes to the point of when it comes to the fact that he, because there's a scene between him and Barrymore's character, where they say Donnie Darko,
right?
And they kind of look at each other. It's very apparent that they know subconsciously what's going on, and that because ultimately they are almost. I mean, they're just ciphers. They're not really anything important. I mean, they're important, but I'm saying they're not. They're not there to be teachers. They're there to kind of push certain things over.
Right.
I love this reveal of Roberta Sparrow, Grandma Death.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go into the book. I recommend, if this is your first time watching the film, to pause and read these lines. They do help out a ton to kind of understand what's going on.
But yeah, so that's the first indication that we have that something bigger is happening, there is this tangent universe, and that's one of the reasons why things are so weird.
Yeah. I mean, it is because, because you start to, because things start get put together quickly. Because you start to figure out this character that almost seemed like a crazy, kooky, older woman, as they say, total recluse, has written a book that essentially explains what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Very much so. So, like I said, I'm definitely like a lot of these things there. I'm just waiting for a couple scenes now because it's not because after watching this film many times you get bored of it. It gets to the point where this film, for me, there are just certain scenes I just wait for and just I'm pretty much just ready and waiting to talk about.
And the rest of it you just kind of want to soak in and absorb.
Yeah. Because it's such a fucking good movie. It's well done. It's well shot, well blocked, well scripted, it is a shame that a lot of the other movies have sort of fallen. Like, I'm trying to think if there's any other directors like that, where like their first film is really good, and like they're that's the concept of sophomore slump, as they say. And I'm trying to think of directors that have done that. I mean, people can say theatrically, people tend to do bad in their second film sometimes, but I'm trying to think of thematically where it's done bad. Because though Mallrats didn't do so well in theaters, Mallrats is still in terms of Kevin Smith films, still one of the most adored films for his. Yeah, just the rest of the world didn't like it, but fans of Kevin Smith do. So I'm trying to think of like a director that's done that, where the second film is just
I like that this movie kind of touches on Donnie's beliefs and philosophies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like not a lot of movies broach that topic.
Well, yeah, I mean they have to talk about his beliefs. He is our. I mean, because ultimately Donnie is our way of seeing this world. I mean, it's adolescent kid and some things like that, but there are certain things that Donnie brings up that, like, when we get to that scene, Jim Cunningham, I can't believe he's single. Like, once we get there...
Yeah, who would have thought, huh?
Yeah, once we get to that point, that's when things will be here. Now, this is one of the coolest shots coming up.
Yeah.
I love that Donnie doesn't care, but his friend is, like, really into... Like, I wonder how the heck his friends got it. Like how he... Like, this... I have so many questions on Donnie and life. But here it is. This is... That is, like, one of the coolest shots.
Yeah, such an interesting concept.
Well, such an interesting concept in terms of understanding, you know, vote to caucus. Son of a bitch. You know, of keeping track of how time is perceived. Mm-hmm. Like, it's such a cool
and also just, like, how the universe works. Because that's such an important thing to understand with this movie.
Yep. Like, he just looks, sees... What's really cool about this film, for sure, about this shot, is notice that nobody else is around. That it's just Donnie. And he knows that he's going to go that way. And he knows that that's the path he's supposed to follow, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it's cool because it's sort of this, you know, I mean, it's wormholey, obviously, in terms of that, but it's cool because it almost feels like, for Donnie, that this is what he's supposed to do, and that this is the, you know, that this is less of a choice and more of a predetermined fate. And that's why he's laughing. He's not. He's amused by it because he's like, I can't change it. That's what happens. What's supposed to happen? That's what time wants me to do. That's what the universe says I need to do. Mm-hmm. And why, he doesn't know. Not yet, at least. But he's starting to piece some things together for sure.
Right.
I'm just... Is this... Oh, no, this is not it. Oh, man, I was hoping... There it is. Remember I told you to pause, people? That's why.
What where do you fall on the theory of time travel in this movie?
In this movie or in
in this movie?
It's not my favorite theory of time travel. Mm-hmm. I do like I do believe in the idea of you know, alternate universes and things like that in terms of time travel. Just because that makes the most sense. And I remember reading an article, I forgot what, I think it was in Popular, either Mechanics or Popular Science, where they were talking about the idea that on the atom level, when they collide, you can go left, right, up, or down. And so even though it goes one way, there's an alternate universe that where it went the other way and things like that. And so I always dug the concept of a tangential universe as the only thing I didn't... Oh, God, this guy is so great.
Another great reveal. And cluing into his inevitable fate.
Yeah. The one thing I didn't like, though, I don't like the idea of an artifact from the other universe coming into the other tangential thing. Like, a tangential universe still should exist. I don't like the idea of the unstable universe. Because I never quite understood, well, why is it unstable? What makes it unstable? Because Donnie's here? But that's the point. Donnie didn't die in this one. You know, Donnie continued on the other universe. What makes his timeline any different from that one? You know, why is it unstable?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why it's unstable is because it's believed that the tangential universe is caused by someone from the primary universe,
Right.
via a means of technology of some sort. So the artifacts from the primary universe is whoever used the technology is trying to reach the tangential universe to correct its course. And so in this kind of theoretical simulation, tangential universes don't happen on a molecular level like every interaction, the way you might think of a branching kind of system. But here it's an isolated incident.
Yeah. It's a I mean, and again, it's not to say that I don't like. I love the idea of tangential universes. It's what makes some of my favorite games fun. Like I adore Chrono Cross for that reason, to kind of put in terms of perspective like that. But what I dig about this movie more so is I think that if you were to take, here's the question: if you were to take the time travel aspect away, I think this movie would still be good.
Probably.
Like I still, because ultimately we focus on Darko as a character, and we sort of focus on his life. The time travel thing is to sort of set things right or set things in a certain way. But here it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you just had this weird kind of cosmic, paranormal, weird, surreal stuff, I think that would still be cool and interesting. But the time travel does make a nice plot bookend.
Exactly. It helps explain what happens around the end of this film for sure. And here is also another quintessential Frank shot, I think.
Is his bathroom like super smoky?
Oh yeah. Dude, he smokes it out, dude. You didn't know that?
I guess. He hotboxes his bathroom.
Dude, Darko likes to get wet and high and blaze. He just loves to blaze. That's all he does. That's why he's so detached from the world. He's just like,
I guess.
Yeah, fuck the 80s. Reagan can suck my cock.
See, that's why his therapist is saying that he's hallucinating and stuff, because he's
is this where you're talking about the tech?
Drugging it up.
Yeah. You know, I never have paused during that sequence, during the eye sequence where you see all the text on the screen. I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
If you guys want to have fun, pause that sequence after you listen to this commentary, because I want to see. I would love to know what's on that screen, like what text is on there, what kind of.
Man, it's probably just like some stuff like, oh, this looks like code.
Well, yeah, of course.
But yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I always love the eye effect.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love that the portal thing. Relief. There. Oh, games of the 80s.
And this is another cool Richard Kelly layering in slight clues.
Really?
Yeah, because the game shows a red car, which Frank drives.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of that.
It's crazy.
I didn't think about that because that's such a Outrun's such a quintessential arcade game.
Yeah, like you don't even think about it.
I don't even think about that because you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like, I just think Outrun because it's a damn 80s game. But here's my favorite shot between the two of them.
Yeah, it's a really cool moment.
Yeah. They just say Donnie Darko. Like they knew. like they know more than they can say. Here it is.
Oh, this is so great.
Oh, this is my favorite moment in the history of movie cinema.
And, you know, this scene has Jerry Traynor, which I was super happy to see in this movie. You know Jerry Traynor?
No.
He I think he was roommates with Jeff Kanata for a while.
Right.
And he's good friends with all of the Totally Rad Show guys. And he plays the older brother in iCarly.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. I forgot hearing about that. Mm-hmm. Where is he in this scene?
He's like the second guy who comes up to the mic.
I had no fucking clue.
It's amazing. I love it.
I'm now because I love that guy. He's might be my favorite reason. He's one of the primary reasons I actually watched iCarly a bit.
Hey, don't knock iCarly.
No.
iCarly's.
Well, I'm saying,
it's got its merits.
I'm not in the demo demographic for that show. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
But damn if you're right, it doesn't have its merits. And I adore that guy for that reason.
Yeah, he's great.
There's a lot of shows I watch that are not part of the target demographic. His name was Frank. That's the thing that I love. I love it because this is when he loses his sense of time.
Mm-hmm. Which I think this was cut in the theatrical.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer.
It's too much. I'm trying to help you. Where she used to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, thin kid. I love this. I'm just waiting.
Because it's Donnie's reaction is like,
it's what everyone thinks.
It's the perfect outburst that everyone always wants.
Exactly. And that's sort of why I love it. Because it's exactly...
Jay Trainer!
Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh my God, I can hear it now.
Yeah.
Brant, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know.
I want to be a firefighter. I love this. This is because these are all like the most bullshit answers. And that's why I love when Darko gets up like, oh, here it is. It's almost
one
done.
more.
One more.
Yeah.
One more. And it's just a little kid who's like, I want to, he's so excited. What do I do to learn how to fight? Fear.
Got to be a fear survivor.
Exactly. Because that's what it is. It's about...
Embrace the love spectrum.
You're right. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. This is the moment of truth. You're afraid. See how sad this is? You will lose sister told you to get off the couch. Tell you twink so you go over field hockey. You know what? No one ever what they want to be when they grow up. It takes a little.
Yeah, it's
like these are all true.
Yeah.
Like these are all fucking truths. And I love it because it is exactly what we as an audience member believes.
Mm-hmm.
And Darko is like Darko is doing the thing that we all wish he could do. We all wish we had the guts to do.
Yeah.
Anger prisoner. Do you see fear, people? This boy is scared.
And usually, like in real life, you don't get such a great a character to rebel against.
Oh,
like
yeah.
in real life, it's normal people who maybe you would disagree with, but they're all right.
This guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
This guy is a grade A asshole. Like he is the atypical grade A 80s asshole. I mean, it's Patrick Swayze. Here it is, the fucking Antichrist. I believe he's the Antichrist too. And then the reveal. I love it because it's what we all want to do. Like if I was in that situation, Brant, like that's what would be going through my head. Everything he said, like this is fucking bullshit. What the fuck are you doing? Why the fuck would we just sit here and listen to this crap?
Right.
I wouldn't have the guts to outburst, but we all wish somebody did.
Yeah, I think most people have too much at stake in actual real life situations.
Yeah.
But Donnie's so detached from everyone, like he doesn't care.
Well, I think at this point Donnie might be figuring out the fact that he is in a tangent in a kind of a weird situation.
Sure. I mean, he knows something's up.
Yeah, and so maybe that's why he's experimenting. Like, well, fuck it, this doesn't matter. It's going to end anyways. Who cares?
Yeah.
The world's going to end in 20 some odd days. Who cares? Which is cool because that means he can take chances and he can do things and pull burn bridges like that. Because fuck, I wish I had the guts to do that with that. I'll try. Do you remember the last motivational speaker you had to see talk?
I don't think I've ever had a.
I've had at least one. I've had at least one. I can't remember, but they've all been the same kind of crap.
Yeah.
Not like that. Not that bad, but pretty damn close. I'm trying to think the last movie Patrick Swayze was in. I don't think I remember.
If the world were going to end, when would you want it to happen? I think Halloween's a good time.
I think so too. I think I'll take this. Well, here's a question: how would you, if it was happening on Halloween? Let's say that Halloween, it's got to end. Sorry, whatever year you want it to end. It could be 2014, 2015, 2352, but it has to end on Halloween.
Yeah.
How would you want the world to end?
How?
Yes.
I mean,
like you have the Darko way, which I think is a pretty epic way to end the world. To be honest,
it's a pretty cool way.
Here again, the whole concept of
I want one of those smashing atoms black hole scenarios. That would be a pretty cool way to go.
I would,
because that would end up getting pretty quick.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I definitely want to go through a black hole because it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like a spear? I beg your pardon? I love that Noah is like hearing him talk about this and he's like, I'm sorry, what are you fucking talking about? And hey, this is where it all...
What do you think about predeterminism? Because there's a lot of that in this movie.
There is a lot of that. I am always on the fence on it. Mm-hmm. Because obviously, okay, so those who have no idea, there are two ways to obviously assume life. Not two ways, multiple ways, but the two theories are, especially when it comes to spirituality and religious things, is that everything happens for a reason and you have a predestined path. What people sometimes call as fate. See, people say, no, you make your own fate, and there is no predetermined path. You make your own kind of predetermined path. Mm-hmm. If I had to really pin it down, I believe that there is a beginning and an end, and there might be certain points in life that you're supposed to hit, quote unquote.
Okay.
But that the journey is up for grabs. That you're supposed to get to a certain point in terms of, if looking back at my life and where it is now, there are so many things that could have gone wrong, and there's so many things that could have changed drastically. So I think that there are certain things that you were supposed to be introduced to kind of help you become who you are, hopefully.
Interesting.
But are they reading the cat? What are they reading?
I forgot the name.
I think it's like a shitty book too.
It deals with rabbits.
Oh, I think it might be the Cadbury Tales, which has some death in it too. But ultimately, that's my spiritual belief, because I'm on the fence, because at the same time, like, no, man, it's all random, it's all chance sometimes. But I think that the journey is chance. I think that there's certain key things that happen, and maybe it's just when you start getting old. It's not even that it's tricky, because there's so many things going on that it's just sort of weird. I love that shot, by the way.
Yeah.
What about you then, Mr. Brand? You approached me with a philosophical, psychological question.
Sure. In general, I guess I would have to say, I do. It's definitely really hard to say, especially if you're going to fall on one path or another. I like the idea of predeterminism in the sense that, not that our fate is determined in such a way, but in that the universe, with all of its constituents, expanded in such a way that that all of those chain reactions must have, like, they needed to happen if there is a constant set of rules in the universe.
I get what you're saying.
And so everything leading up to this moment would have led up to this moment. It had to lead up to this moment based on the elements interacting with each other in the way that they had to because of how it all started. So I kind of like that idea. And it technically you would sort of have free will, but the choices that you would make with your free will would sort of be predetermined by your genetic predispositions and all the events that happen before you and stuff like that. So that's sort of where I fall on that.
I mean, it's such a. I mean, again, this is where we get into, the idea of God and the idea of religion and things like that. But I think that's what I dig about this film, is that it gives you sort of two ideas. I mean, you have Darko here, who is reading the philosophy of time travel, not so much the science behind it, but the philosophy behind it, and sort of talking about. I love this. Oh, out. I love that. I love that scene by Noah.
So as you're saying,
as we get to the whole thing, because Darko obviously is very much understanding that his belief is that things are predetermined, that this sort of universe has a purpose, and that this is the path I have to follow for it. And that's the philosophy of time travel. That's where you start talking about the ideas of not so much how it would happen, but if it does happen, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Whereas you have other characters like Noah, who is talking about the science of time travel, sort of the mechanics behind it, and that taking a very cold approach on the Stephen Hawking approach and things like that. So I think what I like about this film is it presents those kind of two concepts. Sure, we're in a tangential universe where all this is happening and it's predetermined, but that's because we're not in the main timeline, if you will. We're not in the timeline that we're used to. This is already a very, for lack of better words, a pocket of time, a pocket universe that exists that will die when it dies, because that's how pocket universes work in terms of that. And so, you have a certain path you follow. It gets, and I think that's why I dig about it, that it gets religious. Here we go. I think is this where we see Frank's face?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I always found that fucking bunny freaky as shit. That Stephen Man suit.
Those are expensive to buy.
Man suits?
Well, I mean, sure.
You're talking bunnies.
And probably illegal.
Probably.
But the rabbit suit. How
much is it?
Man, I don't know. It's been a couple of years since I checked. But that's a great Halloween costume, and they're really expensive.
I'd imagine so. It's probably a popular one too.
Yeah.
There it is. It is such a shot. Because you have to, because you start to go and say, what happened to your eye? And things like that. And you learn.
Yeah, I think this movie is really good about payoffs.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yes, it is.
Because 90% of the movie is building up and asking these questions and giving you all the pieces of the puzzle.
Yep. It adds it definitely is the kind of movie that when you watch it the first time, you may not see all this stuff building up, but once you see it happen, you're going to come back and watch it again,
right?
And watch and look for those clues. And then you're going to try to say, did I miss something else? Like when you're talking about that scene with the flooding. I didn't know that until you told me now.
Yeah.
And then you've got this.
That was such a scary moment for me, too, because, you get it all set up, and you're in the mood, and you're watching it at night, and all the lights are turned off and stuff. Yep. And then you're like, oh, my God, I've never seen that rabbit there.
Yep.
You just watch it over and over again, and you never notice it until you just catch it dry.
I love I love this. I love
fire.
I've gotta pause and find that. I gotta read the code because there's so much going on. Here it is. Here's where we learn. What I dig about this movie too is that even though Darko is doing, actions that Frank is sort of keying him in on, they're almost kind of benevolent in their execution. Like it's revealing the Evil Dead, the Last Temptation of Christ. Like that's such it's here it is.
Shut up.
No, we're not even at the point. I don't give a we're not even there.
Don't worry, we'll find sparkle motion.
Oh, we've almost come to it.
Have you ever done any interpretive dances like this?
No, I've never done interpretive dance. I think the most embarrassing.
We should do that.
I think the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in high school, and I'm not really embarrassed about it. I'm actually proud of it. Was lip syncing "Just a Gigolo" by David Lee Roth on stage. Because fuck it, it's David Lee Roth and it's Just a Gigolo.
Any recordings of that?
There as a tape somewhere in my collection somewhere. I don't know where it is. If I ever find it, I will definitely put it online.
Yeah, you should do that.
If I ever find that tape, consider it done, people. I have no idea where it is, though. But it's somewhere, someplace. And it was the greatest thing I'd ever done in high school. But here it is. What is your favorite Duran Duran song?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm going to say it has to be either Union of the Snake or Ordinary World.
I'm familiar of some Duran Duran.
Not that much.
But yeah, not a ton.
Here
I never
it
got
is.
super big.
Well, this is notorious.
Yeah, this was originally shot for a different song.
Yeah.
I don't remember what song.
I forgot. He talks about it in the commentary.
Yeah.
There it is. Sparkle motion.
But yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Notorious.
I guess it makes sense that, other songs would sync up pretty well because I find that a lot with editing.
Well, notorious.
Because you find certain rhythm patterns and stuff like that.
Well, the thing is that a lot of pop songs are roughly the same.
Right.
But yeah, I'm trying to think other good Duran. I mean, there's a lot of great Duran Duran songs. But I'd say Ordinary World, Rio, Save a Prayer. The list goes on and on with Duran Duran. And of course, Notorious.
I'm waiting for Steve Carell to jump on stage and start dancing.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Although that Drew Barrymore was like, I don't give a shit. But the thing is, I don't know why she doesn't, like... wait, come on. What I love is this weird parallel going on. That there's the Notorious, there's the dance going on with the kids...
Mm-hmm.
And we're about to find out. Because doesn't he come on stage and, like, pat him on the back or some shit like that?
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm wrong. He was on stage presenting. But I love that we find this out about him.
Yeah.
I love the way it was worded.
And it's great that that Donnie does this without even really knowing that he's this terrible...
Oh, yeah.
Dude, but like he's just led there and he's like, well, all right,
I guess I am destined to burn this place.
Yeah,
which is cool. I mean, that's what I like about Darko as a character is that he has this sort of oh, there it is. Here it comes. Like, yeah, sparkle motion.
I want a gif of that.
Of that?
Of the lady taking off her sunglasses.
Is like, yeah, sparkle motion. I severely don't think we lack our commitment to sparkle motion. She is just sad because she...
Poor Shredder.
I mean, you can't beat Notorious. You really can't. It's hard to beat Notorious.
It's a tough act to beat.
It's Duran Duran. You gotta understand that. Now, maybe if you had done, what's another good '80s song?
Man, it's really smoky in that theater.
Well, I think this is on purpose. I think whenever,
I like it.
I do too.
It's just
what I love about it is she was asleep for the whole time.
Yeah.
What I love about that is that she was asleep for all, and that it doesn't occur to her anything. Here it is. Hey, Chief, what's behind this door? This completely fireproof door that seems to be hidden behind a painting.
That was a pretty sweet felt painting.
It was.
We didn't talk about that. I really want like a 6 foot tall full body portrait of myself.
I don't think I would ever have the audacity.
That would be
to
great.
Do that.
I would love that.
I don't think if someone were to give it to me as a joke, I'd put it up there. Like maybe that's what you should do for Brian is find a way to get a felt like a cheesy felt painting of it.
I mean, Brian's got portraits of himself all over his house.
I know. That's
Brian needs to get a portrait of me for myself.
Yes.
Or Forrest's house. I mean, if he wants to have a full body portrait of me in there,
no, totally.
I think everyone should have a full body portrait of me.
But it's such an ego thing. Like it really, again, we didn't even talk about it, but it puts the whole idea of the character.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I love this. I love this about the dad, is saying you're not crazy, kid.
Yeah,
I used to be crazy, but you're not crazy. I love that talk because it's something. It's something a father says, Because ultimately, Donnie isn't crazy. Donnie may be the only sane one in the entire world, to be honest.
True.
Be who you are. Even if they look at you funny, they will.
Yeah, these father-son moments are really nice.
Oh, yeah. And I love this. I love that because it's so fucking true. It is so goddamn true. And it's something that I love the dad saying. It's so fucking true, and it's the most truthful moment.
Yeah, it's one of these moments, kind of tying into the whole adolescence thing, where it's like the parent finally kind of
understands the kid. Yeah,
it kind of starts seeing the kid as more of an individual entity, and can relate to them in that way.
And that's what I love, and I love that moment because it is, again, it's the most truthful from here. Here it is. Here it is. Referred to as a kiddie porn dungeon. I love it because that's fucking... that is my favorite part. A kiddie porn dungeon. Dad played golf with that guy. One child pornography publishing ring. I love that smile. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, again, I love that thing of the dad because it's such a truth. It's like, yeah, most people are full of fucking shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karen, it's a progressive school. But we feel, yeah, this is not progressive at all, dude. This is one of those sad moments.
I find it kind of crazy that Drew Barrymore's still around making stuff. That's pretty cool. Like she had that one movie a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
The roller skating one.
Yeah. Roller, like the roller derby one. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Roller bounce, was it? No,
that doesn't sound right.
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
Again, great fucking moment.
Yeah, that's
great moment because it's again just.
And then another great blocking.
Yeah.
For that shot.
But fuck it. She knows, and they both know.
I'd be fine if just like every scene had a nice little moment where it's like, oh, let's move the camera slightly to the left and see another character.
But what I love about that shot is just, again, it's the end. Basically, like, you know, we have Drew Barrymore, the teacher, who is, you know, trying to teach these kids more than simply this kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love this. I love the dejection and the horror in her face, like her entire world has been destroyed.
Yeah, and then she goes on to like just completely not even believe it, and she talks about how he was falsely accused and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh God, I love it. I adore this too. I adore that she knows, and they all know, and it sucks because, you know, I mean, she's just like, fuck my life. Because she has no idea what to do. Do they believe him? And this is also another tie-in, now I'm seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
No photographs, no knowledge of sorrow, regret. And that's...
Do you care about dead rabbits, Roberto?
I do. But that's because I've had many friends who have had pet rabbits. And if they're listening, they would be angry if I said otherwise.
Good save. Good save.
But again, it's also cool. You know, another cool kind of thing. The idea, the vision. Did they listen to him? And here it is. God is awesome. I love her because she is totally lost it at this point. Like, she is just trying to face. Like, she is trying to keep herself like together.
Yeah.
Because she put so much faith.
She had all of her eggs in that basket.
Exactly. So much. And I have to appear at his arraignment tomorrow. She like pot committed to this guy.
Yeah.
And here comes one of the best lines. I would never believe asking you. You're... Here it is. Here it is, the best line. We all can say it together if we'd like. Because I'm planning to say it. You want to say it?
I guess.
All right. Let's see.
Sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion. Yep.
That is probably the best line in the film.
May it forever live.
It is one of the most best line in the film.
Yeah.
Sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion. Because that scene, again, for her, the character, she is just like hanging on a thread of sanity.
Yeah.
Because Swayze was... that might be the best part, is Patrick Swayze playing a fucking pedophile.
Hey, he really took charge of that role.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah.
Swayze did an excellent job in acting. He did a fantastic job. Everyone does a fantastic job in the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, Swayze does a damn good job. So here's a question.
Sure.
Let's say that you're tasked. Let's say that Brian comes to you and says, Brant, my daughter wants to start a dance troupe.
Sorry, this is a really nice moment.
Okay.
Go on.
I'll continue. God, this is a scary moment. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Anyways,
I was lost in the moment. I was just sucked in.
I got pretty lost into it too. Oh, here it is. The
letter.
The letter. What did the letter say again? Did they reveal that? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I'm assuming it says what we think it says. Like, hey, I know we're in a tangential universe and we're all fucked. But I love how it all kicks in and things.
See,
like that.
there's the van.
Yep.
From Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, that's true. Good point. Good call.
Yeah.
They
Just
paint
gave it
yellow.
a fresh coat of paint.
Yep. Painted yellow and we're all
Yep.
good.
Anyway.
So yeah, Brian comes to you and says, Brant, my daughter wants to be part of a dance troupe.
Okay.
Now, I can't do it, and Bonnie can't do it, and none of the other mothers can't do it. We're going to need you to lead it.
And I would never think of asking you, but
can you do this? Would you do it?
So what would I have to do exactly?
You'd have to lead these girls to victory. Whatever that means.
No. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it either. I love how I said lead them to victory. God, this is so terrible. Like, it sucks for her character.
Yeah.
And I love that Donnie talks about this. Because even though Donnie disagrees with her, Donnie's one of the students that she enjoys. It's apparent.
Sure.
There it is. All the English phrases.
And so now here's where the clues and hints start getting more and more prescient and in your face.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking blatant.
Yeah.
And again, that's what I adore about this character. Is that now she is out of the world because she is no longer she served her purpose.
Yeah.
Her element has done it. And this is
Sharetta.
And Sharetta's panicking because that was the only person that believed in her. And Donnie does too. But she's like, what is this guy doing? She's going to take things out. Tell her. I kind of want a movie made on Sharetta.
That would be a sequel I might be interested in.
Yeah.
Sharetta Darko.
Sharetta Darko. Or just Sharetta in general. Because Sharetta, again, it's such a weird... I mean, this is where, again, at this point in time, Darko is starting to put the pieces together.
Yeah.
He's starting to understand. He knows what the universe is. And he is just trying to get to the end now. Because the end game is coming up pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think what else there is. As we're kind of coming to the final parts of the movie. Brant is looking up something very peculiar, and I'm curious as to what.
No, I'm just... Don't worry about me. I'm good. Charita.
Who played Charita?
I knew I was mispronouncing it. It felt wrong. Her name is Jolene Purdy.
Oh, interesting. What else has she been in?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's delve down these actors that are not important characters.
We dig up the information so you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Under the Dome.
Okay. Isn't that Isn't it that science that series on Amazon? Or is that the movie?
It's a TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could have sworn that's like the. What year was it?
this year.
Yeah, that was the one on Amazon or something like that. Then
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. That's random.
Mm-hmm.
Time travel.
Raising Hope. Glee.
Wow. There's been a lot of things.
Yeah. And a few things here and there. She was in Breaking Bad for an episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. I may have to go back and watch that episode
Yeah, right?
and see it in such an entirely different line.
Mm-hmm.
To watch it, like she's gonna say "shut up." No, she's gonna glack somebody instead. What I love at this point too is that this is the most, he's hitting in hypnotherapy, kind of regressed to a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This is such a human moment where Donnie, he has put everything together in his subconscious.
Yeah.
And that's what's scared. And that's what it is. And people you've taught, and it's such a. If this world were to end, there'd only be you and him. And he knows that, and she knows that too. Like that's what's cool about this part is that I think everybody in this tangential universe is set to push Darko along,
Right.
and to get him to his
end.
Yeah, to his end game. Well, because it gives. What's cool about this is that, you don't know when you're going to die. Like, you don't know when the end is. You never truly know.
Mm-hmm.
They're placebos, just pills made out of water. Donnie, though, is given a chance.
And the placebos thing is kind of interesting too, because with such a seminal figure, someone who plays such an important role in this whole process, like she can't actually give him real drugs, because who knows what might happen to him then.
Yeah.
So he's got to be of his own mind.
But what I like about that effect, what I like about this, is that Donnie has a chance to experience just a sliver of life. Like he's given at least 20 some odd days, 28, 9, 30 days essentially.
Sure.
To become all right with his fate, with his inevitable demise, because he knows the world's going to end.
Yeah.
For him, in this one, he knows what has to happen to get there.
Right.
And he gets a chance to, he gets to have, his one last hurrah.
Yeah, and he gets to make amends with people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which we've seen over the past 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He's been making good.
I did not even notice that.
Yeah. Right.
The light thing.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he gets a chance to do that. He gets to make amends. He gets to live a little bit of life. He gets to do some things, and it's something that you don't think about the first time go around watching this film, but you definitely think about it the second and third and fourth and fifth time go around because of how it does it and how it gets there.
Yeah, I mean, the first time you're just kind of overwhelmed with so much information and weird concepts and stuff like that, but you definitely get to get in.
For pussies. Keg beer is for pussies. Remember that, people.
Life lesson, I guess.
Yep. There's a life lesson: be Reagan with a cape. And yet they're still going to drink the keg beer. This is even great. She can't do anything, but
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, and so I always dug that was sort of how the movie kind of started, getting through the manipulated dead and living receiver and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is the scene where Echo and the Bunnymen are playing, if I'm not mistaken. We had the volume turned down. So
Have you ever toilet papered a house
no.
or gotten toilet papered?
I have gotten toilet papered.
Really?
I have not terribly, but
No.
the neighborhood has. I had never toilet papered. I'd never had the guts. Like I was way too good of a kid.
That seemed like just a really terrible thing to do.
It always seemed like it always seemed more trouble than it was worth.
Sure.
Because every kid that was like, we're gonna toilet paper the neighborhood, like, okay, fine,
I don't think it was ever.
Oh, that wasn't Echo and the Bunnymen. That was Love Will Tear Us Apart. Echo and the Bunnymen was at the beginning. No.
It's in a minute when they come down.
That's where it was. Because there's so many there's so many musical moments in this movie that I forget them all, kind of.
Sure.
But back to
Yeah, I just don't think I don't think that was ever really a thing where I grew up.
It was for me, but not for my group of people. I mean, I grew up as a complete nerd and a complete geek. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was the kid that was watching like Akira and Blade Runner in middle school, no less, and parts of high school. So I had no desire to
Cause mayhem.
no, dear Lord, no. Like I was playing Magic the Gathering, for fuck's sakes.
That's its own form of
that
chaos.
was my own form of chaos. That was my
Sure.
my own form of like weird rebellion.
Yeah.
You
so
know.
there she's asking for Frank.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where things get hot and heavy.
This is where the movie gets super weird.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize he's calling. Because were they supposed to be there longer?
Yeah.
And then she had kind of a feeling to come back.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think, where it is. We'll know by the subtitles here. I love that they walk in sync.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I can kind of hear it.
Yeah, also we're about to get that awesome rotating shot. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool. Those are always really hard shots to get. I think there was a really nice rotating shot in Looper.
Yes.
But I think that one they might have done digitally.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Echo and the Bunnymen. What I love is that he's starting to reel. The world's coming into this weird. You know what's interesting about that song, "Fate Up Against Your Will"? He will wait until. See, look, that's who's. See, you see what I'm trying to say? Do you see the writing on there? That wasn't.
Yeah.
That's not his writing. That's Frank's writing.
See, I feel like the spray paint writing was kind of a mixture of the two.
Possibly.
Because that seems pretty chaotic and random and scribbly and weird, but the spray paint writing has a little bit of that, but it also has some of the same style of writing that.
See, what I
Donnie
like
has.
about this is that we're going back in time and hitting certain digital artifacts. Like that's why I'm gonna end up watching this movie later on. The digital version and pause those scenes because there's too much going on and they're not to try to take it apart. Because obviously he's going through a wormhole right now. Fate up against your will. Through the thick and thin, he will wait until you give yourself to him. I'm like, what the fuck? They're confused.
Yeah. I always really loved this music too.
Oh god! Like I said, this is like it's great that you've never seen the other films of
Richard
Kelly.
Yeah.
because it is so disheartening to know, at least in my opinion, and everyone has their opinion, everyone has their theory, but and everyone believes what no one believes, and there is cellar door.
Yeah. I'll probably end up watching some of his stuff sometime just because I won't be able to help myself, but this it's so hard to top this movie.
It is. It's such a hard movie to think, and that's why I start going in my mindset of like, has this happened before? Has there been a movie?
And that's such a terrifying idea.
Yeah, to like hit your peak at your first thing.
Yeah, and I know that's something he's very frightened by, the idea of that being a reality.
Right, because he's had Domino that didn't do so well, and Southland Tales that didn't really do so well. And this just having that, like, every a lot of people dug Darko.
Yeah.
In a good
At
way.
least eventually.
Yeah. Not at the beginning, not necessarily as a theatrically, but.
Yeah. And when it was showed at Sundance, like, it didn't do very well.
Yeah, well.
Stuff like that.
Who cares about Sundance? Don't hit the piano. That ain't how we're gonna be here. Where did his friends go?
I think they're waiting outside, maybe?
Oh, I remember what happens now.
Yeah.
Now it all clicks in. And this is where we get into the world proper.
Yeah, they're there.
Like, this is the freakiest thing on the planet. This is where it gets freaky as hell. And then he sees it's him. Like, why would they... I always wondered what they were doing.
Oh, the two guys?
Yeah. Like
I think that's just another artifact of them being guided beyond their means.
Yeah.
To enable certain events
Deus
happening.
Ex Machina.
Yeah.
And it happens to be... Oh, man. And guess who it is? This is where it gets freaky as hell. It's a clown.
Which I think is actually kind of funny in hindsight. I just realized this because at the beginning, Donnie's mom was reading Stephen King's It.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Good fucking point. I wonder if that's the circular tie. And here it is.
Yeah.
Here's the reveal. Frank. The real Frank. And Frank. Here it is. Such a fucking good shot.
Yeah, it's a real good moment.
And this is where
Donnie's a good shot.
yeah, Donnie is a great shot. Right in the eye.
Yeah. And then again, if he was always predetermined to shoot him in the eye,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
That's sort of the point, is that he was always, and this is where our Sparrow talks. I think she talks, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. And she knows you must hurry. Like, she knows exactly what's up. That's what's really cool about that.
Yeah.
So I think
It's a really nice shot. Too.
Oh yeah. I think we are almost at the end of this film. So
We're getting there.
we're getting there for sure. We've got about a few minutes left. So let's talk about what our final thoughts are on Darko. I love Donnie doing this. Just, essentially saying goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows what's about to happen. Blockbuster. I'm sorry.
That is when Brian and I were in LA not too long ago, we saw Blockbuster.
I'm amazed.
It was crazy. I didn't believe my eyes.
I think I have not seen a Blockbuster in a while. There used to be a Blockbuster in my area here in Austin, but I think that turned into a emergency medical care thing.
It's a much better establishment to be.
Yes, very
there.
much so. Now here's the interesting part, and this is what I always weirded out by. The fact of the matter that jet engine is from here, but it still kills Donnie. Like, he still can't avoid that.
Right.
Like, and that's where we get the idea of predetermination, because you can't cheat death, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
God, that's such a weird storm.
Yeah, and I've always felt like part of the branching off of the universes was just at that moment where he leaves his room that night.
Yeah.
And so by killing him, he prevents the universe from branching off
I love the cops.
in some way.
I love the cops go to his house.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that looks like C code. That's definitely a whole bunch of hex. It looks C-ish. Who killed this boy? I think his name was Donnie Darko. I've never met him in my entire life, but I know his sister, so it must be the brother.
Man, I love like this kind of region.
Oh yeah.
Like that's one of my favorite parts of traveling, is just seeing places that don't look like Texas.
Anyways, back to the point at hand. So, what are your final thoughts on this film, Brant? If you had to sum up all the things that after watching this again, sitting here talking and joking around at times, but seriously, still appreciating this film, what are definitely your final thoughts on Donnie Darko?
I mean, I really love it. I think it's great. I think when I first started watching it, I viewed it as it was this crazy thing that I discovered that really changed the way that I looked at movies. So it was held in the highest of regards, and I think over time it's gotten a little. My enthusiasm has tamed a little bit.
Yeah,
but I still really love it. I'm super fond of it. I think it does like a lot of really smart things, and it's a really cool idea done in a really cool way.
I think I'm the same way. Definitely at the beginning of Darko, when I first saw it, it definitely was like a what the hell am I watching, in a good way. And like, I needed to pay attention to this very in depthly. And then watching it the second time go round, I started doing the same thing again. And so ultimately, I'm with you in that. Like, it's that movie that. Oh, I love this shot, by the way.
Yeah.
I love it because it does this sort of effect like that. Like he's going back in time and sort of going through all the things he has to do, or all the things he did.
Yeah.
And it's such a freaking cool thing, because he gets a chance to essentially learn what would have happened had things been different. And again, he gets a chance to sort of become comfortable with his own death.
Yeah.
Here it is. So many things I need to ask you. That's what's in the letter. And what I love about the implication about this is that when we get to the beginning of Are we about to hit the Are we about to hit the musical, the Mad World?
In a minute or so.
Yeah. That is one of the great shot right there.
Yeah, Richard Kelly did all those drawings.
This is what I love. I love that
crazy.
Donnie is like just laughing because he's like he's back. He knows what's going to happen, and he's like, I know what has to happen. He's just laughing at it all.
Yeah, that's a really nice moment for Donnie.
Yeah, well, because he's come back and he's like, I can't avoid this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a question: if you're a Donnie, would you have avoided it again?
No.
I would have done it. I would like, let's try it again. Let's see what we can do better. Let's not kill Frank this time.
Just like a really creepy version of Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
And you just keep starting it over and over and over again.
just everything over and over again, because why not? And there it is.
That's a super cool shot.
Oh God, yeah. That sucks. I mean, it's terrible because this is where you see everybody just super sad.
Yeah.
And here it is. I'm going to turn off the thing. I'm going to be quiet during this musical moment because I want you, audience, to reflect on this. I kind of feel like, this is so...
It's kind of nice that Drew Barrymore doesn't get fired in this universe.
Oh, who's to say she doesn't?
Well, because the reason she got fired is because these horrible things kept happening based on the books.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you think she realizes?
I think she's still a bitch.
Oh, she is still a bitch.
She's still a terrible person.
But she shows true dedication to Sparkle Motion.
Yeah, now she has the truest of dedication. She says, this is what's going to happen if I don't take them to the event. Then they're going to come back early and everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
And terrible stuff's going to happen. I got to take them. I got to take charge of this. And we're going to win.
Now, this is the coolest shot, I think.
Yeah, all of the iterations and stuff.
But I love what he does with his eye.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a cool thing. Oh, it's such a cool shot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Donnie. To save the world, you had to die. I mean, it's such a depressing thing because we've grown to love this character. We knew what had to happen, and you just see the family just completely destroyed. I think that's the hardest part of this shot is seeing the sister, the younger sister, and the dad just unable to handle it.
Yeah.
And of course, right here, the mother just, I mean, you know what's going through her head at that shot.
Yeah.
Like, and then this. And Donnie. Donnie Darko. And she just, then they both know, you know, in some weird way.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't know him, but she doesn't know. And as we come up to the credits very soon.
I love this shot.
This kid. That kid waves too. And we have come to the end of Richard Kelly's Donnie Darko.
Donald Darko.
Donald Darko. Brand, thank you for coming with me on this journey of a damn good film and again to start off this show. Tell people where they can find you online if they want to comment to you about their thoughts and dreams on Donnie Darko.
I guess primarily twitter.com/Gadowag. That's GATOWAG. Or you can find me on the Facebooks, Brant Hughes, or anywhere else. Just search for my name and you will find me on the internet.
Of course, you can find me. I'm at Vincent404 there on the Twitters. If you want to comment on this episode, it should be, I'm thinking the site's going to be CosmicRadio.TV / Cinematalkraphy. It should be that. Or Cinematography, I should say. Yeah. Thank you. I got to make sure I get the name right in my head. Cinematography. There you can find
amateur.
Yeah, very amateur. It's the first time. There you should be able to comment on this episode and find a link to a copy of the film if you don't have a copy of Donnie Darko, the director's cut. But there's so many ways to get it. So we're going to fade out here and be done. But thank you for joining us here to talk about Donnie Darko, the director's cut. So until next time, keep watching awesome films, I guess.
Yeah. And just keep watching them.
Keep watching them.
Yeah. And just keep watching them.
Just keep on watching.
Yeah. And just keep watching them. Yeah. And just keep watching them. Yeah. And just keep watching them.
Stop the recording.